Hello and welcome back to the Faith and Culture Show. This is a special edition, a special live edition on Thursday, August 14th, 2025. It's special because we are going to be talking to Ohio Amy. If you haven't met her yet, you're in for a treat. She's a hard worker, and we're going to learn more about what she does. But just to read a little bit about her, she wanted me to tell you that she is the daughter of Yeshua. She's a wife, a mother of 6. She's a nana of 4, patriot, flying fearless since 11/15/2021. She's a defender of truth, of wisdom that comes from Yeshua, Elion, fighter until the end. She's an entrepreneur. She's the director and organizer of the Stay Awake America Tour. She's had 33 plus years of sales and management experience in multiple industries. And I think this is why she is equipped to do what she's doing for America right now. Her ultimate personal mission to hear one day the most powerful living word, well done, good and faithful servant. And isn't that what we all want? And we are living in a time like no other in our day and age. And that is why the message she's going to bring to us today is so important. I thought we better do a live show so that people can participate. And we have an upcoming conference, and she's going to tell us all about it. And if you're anywhere in the areas where these conferences are, I would highly suggest to get involved and to come hear what people have to say and why we need to stay awake. Welcome to the show, Ohio Amy. How are you?
Hello. Hello, Catherine. So very nice to see you today. And thank you. What an honor it is to be on your show and to speak with your audience.
Well, I love speaking with active Christians because in this show, it's basically normally to educate people how to have difficult conversations with the culture around them. And a lot of Christians just don't know how to respond to what's going on in our culture today, whether it has to do with sexuality or it has to do with politics or it has to do with, gosh, what's going on at my child's school? And so we need to have those conversations, but you are getting to be privileged to hear all of those conversations in one place at one time, every time we do a conference. So first I want to ask, just let the audience know what a businesswoman of 33 years, why are you doing this? Sometimes it feels like a thankless task.
Well, thank you for asking. Yes. Just like everybody, you have your days and you're like, woohoo, why did I say yes? But how do you not say yes to the Lord when the Lord calls you and taps you on the shoulder and you can't but say yes? And that is what happened. I walked the path of 3.5 years volunteering at the Stay Awake America Tour in the media side. And it afforded me amazing connections. And without, telling the whole story right now, then I stumbled upon, not stumble, God presented this opportunity. And as many of us say, why me, Lord? Why
Yes.
am I? Yes. Why? Well, and I've always been an athlete. So I've always said, wake up. I say, what are we going to do today, coach? Put me in, coach. And Jesus Christ is my coach. And then when he presents you things, a playbook, and you're like, really? Me?
Yeah.
I don't think I'm equipped to do this. And then you're like, okay, this is exciting. But Lord, is it from you? So you go into prayer and, meditation. And he kept tapping me on the shoulder and kept saying, yes, let's go forward. Let's do this. And I was working full time. And I was like, I can't do this. So I thought, okay, we'll start a Stay Awake America tour in Columbus. It's my hometown. So that'll be easier to be able to manage. And then from there, by faith, I call it, I jumped off the cliff and we went fast forward to Venice, Florida, and now we're preparing for our third conference in Knoxville, Tennessee.
It's, I know, and you've worked hard every step of the way because you're dealing with, I don't know how many speakers, and you're scheduling people, and most people are coming because we can see something is wrong with this country. We have a small window of opportunity while President Trump is in office because we want to take this country back from the Marxist agenda that has been building over the past, 100 years, would you
Yep.
say?
Yeah, absolutely.
So we really have our work cut out for us. So nobody should be sitting on the sidelines.
No, it's not a spectator sport anymore. The Reawake America tour was created by a conversation with Casper McLeod and General Michael Flynn after the last October 2024 Reawake America tour in Selma, North Carolina. It was a couple weeks after it's when President Trump got elected, and the conversation went like this. They both agreed that what they feared the most is America going back to sleep. So,
Yeah.
so hence the Stay Awake America tour. Cast time at the Stay Awake America tour, and I had shared with him my dream of starting my own company again. I was afforded 2 years with Salem Media, the one that I walked away from in May of 2025. But that was the first time I was in media and broadcasting. And so I got enough education and to actually be dangerous. So at that point, that's when we had a three-way call. We talked about it. We talked about the mission, Stay Awake America, to unite, engage, and activate local action for national impact. And it's not a General Flynn endorsed. He's not behind us. He just really passed the baton, and we went to work. And that call was, I think it was in maybe late November, December of 2024. And that's when God kept tapping me on the shoulder. And I was like, really, really? No, I can't do this. I'm working full time. Grown children, but it's the first that empty nesting. My youngest went to college, so it's like, oh, things are going to slow down a little bit and whatnot. But anyways, God had different plans, and God's plans are always more exciting than your own. That's the wonderful gift. So he presented this after we did the first Stay Awake America in Delaware, Ohio. I just was so energized and just honored with the opportunity, because just even by our first event, the response back and how it had touched people's lives, it was just it was so powerful, and it aligned to what I've always wanted to do. And God gave me a download about a year ago and said that your company name will be The AIM Connection. My dad always called me AIM, so Amy, A-M-Y, but AIM, A-I-M, and with a little target. So if you know me, you know I love emojis, so I'm an emoji queen. So The AIM, target, connection, and actually connection has an X in it. So what's next? So that was a download. I didn't really know how it was going to transpire, or when it was, or if it was really from him. Don't we hear words many times and we're like, Lord, is that from you? And then he validates it, just like in, Joshua, when the part, the moving of the drying up the river so the Israelites can walk on dry ground. He does that. It's not
Mhm.
always clear. You just have to walk by faith, and that's
Yes.
100% what Casper McLeod, Pastor Casper, and I have been doing. We've been just walking by faith. We have no funding. we are we are grassroots movement with a mission, and what sets us apart is solutions and all for the glory of God. Those are two components of our event that are non-negotiable. We have walked for the last 8 years and learned a lot of information, mind-blowing information, right? Things,
Yeah.
all the lies and the deceptions,
Mm.
and to even digest that and be able to really have your whole worldview ripped apart.
Yeah.
That's a lot to take in, but we did. And for some reason, we were blessed. I feel like the gift of faith is a gift, a blessing and a gift.
Yep.
But also the second gift is the lifting of the veil. And once the veil is lifted, the clarity that you see around you, self-reflection, and really the what your goal is, your divine goal. And I try to teach my kids, telling them their passions and their talents and their passion and their purpose all align with God's journey for you. And when you're walking that way, because everything just seems to, you're getting ready to, everything just falls into place. Not that I'm saying it's not difficult, not that I'm saying you won't be extremely attacked,
Right.
not that I'm saying that this is going to be the easiest road, because it's not. It's going to be the road that you carry the cross, but the happiness and the joy and the peace that aligns with your walk, that's how you truly know that you are walking in faith, full-time ministry, and with God's plan for you. And I've personally found that uh, it's something that you always have to check and adjust. Of course, you've got to
Mhm.
get into the living word, and it even becomes brighter because you see it working in your own life. And um, it's great to read the stories in the Old Testament and the Gospels, the life of Jesus, but you're like, that's them, but not me. I'm learning that because I'm learning the word, and I'm learning how to align with it. But when that word becomes alive in your life, and you read readings that you've read all of your life, and all of a sudden it's a reflection of the walk where you're at, or it's
Yep.
a reflection of something you've been praying at, and all of a sudden you have clarity. That veil is as powerful of a gift. The lifting of the veil is as powerful of a gift as a gift of faith. And that's what I can't be quiet anymore. We know there's not one man or one woman on this earth that's going to save us or save America until Jesus
That's
Christ
right.
walks again on this earth. And nor can President Trump alone save America. He needs our prayers, he needs our support, but ultimately he needs our action. So local action, national impact. And just like you said, ignites. And local action ignites national impact. And all of that, again, you only know what that action needs to be in your life because it's so different, because we're so unique, because God has made us for this beautiful mosaic picture, and each piece of the puzzle is needed. Without that, there's a missing piece. And that's what the Reawake America tour tells. There's not one person that's more important. If President Trump was on this call with us, he's not more important than you or I or anyone listening, because our journeys are different. Um, another thing I try to teach my children is jealousy is such a huge sin. And the
Oh,
reason
yeah.
it is because you're telling God that he didn't make you perfect, and God makes everybody perfect. And to rejoice in somebody else's perfection, which is their journey and their talents and their, whatever it is, inside, outside, we all have crosses. But that's what I try to explain jealousy. Like, there's motivational speakers will say that you either have basement friends or you have balcony friends, and to align yourself with balcony friends, because those people uplift you. They celebrate you. They don't pull you down, meaning the basement. And that's part of jealousy, is because the fact that you're telling God how he made you perfect and moving toward perfection, which it ultimately is in the kingdom of heaven, not here on earth. We're all broken. But that's where we need to celebrate each other. And that's where I feel so blessed to be a part of the Stay Awake America tour and all of these experts, because we're delivering truth and freedom with detailed solutions. Again, it's non-negotiable. We will set ourselves apart on all. I mean, there are many conferences and many great events out there, but it's not us. We want to be all for the glory of God and solutions, because we've been out there, and like I said, the last 8 years we've been awake. We've learned to deal, check and adjust with the lies and the deceptions, and it is created a vacuum where people are hungry and starving for leadership. But we
Yeah.
have to tell them, you're already equipped. God already has you as a leader. Let's just give you the recipe. Let's just give you some points. And with a variety of expert speakers like yourself, oh, we're so gracious that you have joined us, and that you've offered your time and your talent and your treasure, and you've set seeds and you've affected lives. You've changed people from you sharing the gifts and talents and wisdom that God's bestowed on you. But each person that is called to come to the Stay Awake America tour, not each not each speaker is going to resonate, because we're all individuals. So you
Yeah.
might be aligned with health, you might be aligned with civics or politics or education,
Mhm.
or spirituality. But all of that, as I was saying before, is unique. It's unique to you, and it's unique to your talents and treasures and passions, that what God has given you. But it's so important to the mosaic, that piece that you add to that tapestry is just so and very important. So we are traveling by faith to cities to bring hope and solutions so people can engage, because no longer is this a spectator sport. We've learned about the evil. Now we got
Yeah.
to do something about it. No more can we sit on the couch. It's non-negotiable. Get up, get going, get in the fight. And it has to start with you. Just like the fact that when you're on an airplane, they say put on your oxygen mask first before you help the children, because that's the same way in this journey in life. You've got to equip yourself. You've got to know God. You've got to align yourself with God. And then you can't wait. You got to keep running, because you're not going to know what you don't know. And until you get the scars, all of us are broken, and all of everything prepares us for where we are going. And we can't go there until we walk through many different experiences, tragedies, broken heart, sadness. All of that is like Romans 8:28. God makes them for those they love. Uh, for that, I'm not great with actual scripture, like
I
regurgitate,
didn't
but
want to interrupt you.
yes,
He
no
works
problem.
all things for good for those who love him according to his will. And I think a lot of people miss that part. If
The
if
back,
you
the
are a
end.
Christian and living for the will of God, not for your own will. And, oh, I think he'll be okay with this. According to his will, he will turn all things, he will make all things to benefit the kingdom. And if you're part of the kingdom, it will benefit you too. And that's why I think, Amy, you've been drawn to doing this so much, because we have seen the evil. We have seen a slow and steady march through all of our institutions. And slowly, the Marxist mentality has taken over, including into our history books of the young. Yeah, I know that it was in college, it trickled down to the high school, trickled down into middle school. Authors like Howard Zinn, they took our history and distorted it ever so slightly to turn things around and make it look like we are a horrible nation of, just slave drivers, and we owe everybody money back. And that's just not true. These things have been taken over by very evil people who want to control the population over time. And they have been. And one of the things that really concerns me, Ohio Amy, is the mainstream media, because they continue to cover for these bad actors. I saw a news clip or something that was put out last night that talking about President Trump's visiting the Smithsonian Institute and then having it go under an audit, basically, of all of their facilities and checking out what it is they are saying about historical, I guess they're not so much statues, but their presentations that they have. And it's totally secular. If you've ever been to the Smithsonian in Washington, D.C., have you?
I have briefly, that child trip. So it wasn't,
Well, they have
I've
an
been-
entire exhibit
Yes.
room with
been a while ago.
evolution. Yeah. And they present it as truth, as if it is a fact that humans came from monkeys, that evolved from some other amoeba and somehow became a mammal, and then somehow, there's these huge jumps. But if you're a scientist and you understand what makes life, the DNA and all of our cells and the genomic structure, you look at that and think there's just no way. But the Smithsonian has corrupted so many things. Anyway, this clip said, he's going to make sure that they change everything to align with President Trump's view of history. And this is what people see, for the most part, who still believe, who don't understand that it's all propaganda for a globalist Marxist agenda. They don't understand it still. So this is why I believe that God's pushing you to do these, because we need to continue to raise awareness and teach our audiences, this is what you could do. And it could be a vast, like you said, array of gifts that people have. Some people, they need to get involved with the election. Some others need to get involved with education. Others need to get involved with maybe teaching the Constitution. And everything about our founding fathers, or historical references, especially if they're teachers. And others, like me, I try to wake people up to the fact that I want you to recognize what propaganda is and how they manipulate your brain while they're doing it. That is the enemy.
Yes.
That is what drives me. That is the enemy. That is the devil, just what he did in the Garden of Eden. He distorted the truth. And look what happened. So didn't mean to talk so long, but I understand your passion. I'm honored that I'm included in this tribe.
Yeah, and that's what we are. We're a family.
We are.
Uh-huh.
So, okay, tell us about the next event coming up.
Okay, absolutely. And if I can just jump in one quick comment that's interesting that you brought that up about the Smithsonian. I think it was
Yeah.
Julia Michaels that, and I could have got her name wrong, but I think it's Julia Michaels that was on CNN this
Mm.
morning, and she blasted five of the CNN reporter, news anchors, whatever, and they were speechless. And she went, that's a very good clip for people to go out, because it you do get disheartened with mainstream media, MSM,
Mhm.
but I say ever since Elon Musk took over X, that's the place to get your news, because you can find both sides. So you can get your balance, and make sure, be able to hear what they're saying. But you will get truth in there, and then we don't have enough time in the day to watch everything. I
Right.
mean, that how many newspapers President Trump literally reads in hand is just amazing. The guy's a super he's a super bunny. He's
I don't
super
even know how in the world. Yeah, he's
yeah.
amazing. What blows my mind is that it escapes the public, or the not everybody. Okay, we've got a really good millions of people who are aware now, who weren't aware 5 years ago. But it is some people, it escapes them. For 4 years,
We got the
they
solution.
never saw this person that was posing as the president of the United States, maybe 3 times in 4 years. And when they did, it was very brief, 15 minutes, and then he'd wander off like he didn't know where he was, because he didn't. And I'm not being ugly. Just go
Oh,
back and watch the
absolutely.
clips.
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. Facts.
And this man, he's what, is he 80 yet? But he's like, every single day, every minute of the day is taken. He knows what he's talking about. He knows the people in the room. He'll see somebody in the audience and he'll say, hey, so, and then he knows their name, what they do.
Yeah.
And he's gracious, unless of course, they don't deserve grace, like a lot of the reporters. And he calls it like it is.
Right.
And people, it escapes them.
Solutions.
Wow, we have a
So
president who's
solution
busy.
solution to that problem is he started Truth Social. So get on Truth Social. Get on there and follow his account, and you
Yeah.
can see when you walk with somebody, and a new friend, someone may have introduced you, and then somebody else might have a different opinion that you have. But if you can stay focused on just, intentional and actions, and, how is that person moving forward? Well, True Social, you have it right there. He posts it there first, his reaction and whatnot. And that's a good way to balance. And then the veil is lifted, because you're like, wow, how can this be this? How can we know semantics, how it can be distorted, and the inflection and word manipulation. So it's all intended. The mainstream media is intended. They're bought and paid. They're
Mhm.
blackmailed. They're occupied by the shadow government, the deep state. And but he is I call it, like, skinning an onion, taking off layer by layer by layer. And unfortunately, it's going to be like the Bible, a third, a third, a third. A third of the people will never wake up.
Yeah.
A third of the people will be lost. And then we're in the third that are awake and ready to move forward. And in my opinion, um, 2 years ago, we were still of the responsibility to educate, deliver information to that middle third that's not wake, but not closed minded. But now I think we have no responsibility. Everybody is responsible for their own actions. When we go and face the Lord for Judgment Day, no one's going to be standing by us. No one's going to say, "Hey, you
That's
know
right.
what? Amy's really good. She did this, that." No, I've got to stand there in front of the Lord, and I've got to accept the things I did do, the things I didn't do, my brokenness. So that's where I'm at now. We need to move forward. We need to be that person that all of a sudden
Yes.
turns ahead and says, what do they got? Whatever they got, I want. In the sense that,
Yeah.
you know what? Come with me, but I'm not stopping. I'm not stopping. If you haven't woken up now, I'm not sure what's going to. I
I know.
think the
I
Biden
know.
administration was the pause. I think it was accepted and created so that third could catch up, because the third that was awake, we were already ready to rock and roll and start running with Trump
Yeah.
2020. But he realized he didn't have enough of the population, the majority behind him, to do that without walking straight into the mainstream media's narrative. Oh, he's a
Mhm.
dictator. Oh, what the heck? Smithsonian, I need to get my facts in order, but I did read something in the last week about what the actual purpose of the Smithsonian was built to do, and it was to hide history. So don't quote me on that, but
Wow.
do your own research, go down your own rabbit hole and research anything that I say or anybody else says.
Yes.
You build your trust level, because you walk with those people and you see, and then you check and adjust, and you
Yeah.
validate, and that builds, it builds the trust in the word of influencers, friends, family. But go down that. So much, like you said, the 100-year plan. Well, we were blessed again last Stay Awake America tour in Venice, Florida, last June, with Patrick Byrne. He is an amazing patriot, entrepreneur,
Yes.
CEO and founder of Overstock.com, but he gave us a huge lesson on the history of China. And
Yes.
if you don't know anything about the 100-year plan, or they call it One Belt, One Road, look it up, read it. That's why President Trump, since the time he walked down the elevator, has told us that our number one enemy is China. It's not
Yeah.
Russia, Russia, not even Iraq, not even the Middle East. It's China.
Yeah.
But anyways, and he is a master marketer. I look at him and I'm just like, man, because he does do those little things that people don't like, the calling
Yeah.
names or China. But what did that do? That held it in your mind. That's a master marketer. And
Yeah.
because I like to network and whatnot, and the art of the deal, he is a master negotiator. And
Hmm.
God sent us here to be in communion, to
Yeah.
work together. In the Bible, it tells us if you have a grievance against, one of your brothers and sisters, go to them, sit down with them, try to work it out. If you can't work it out, then bring your brother or sister, bring your community, bring your pastor, your priest, your rabbi. And then if you can't, it steps us through. But that's
Right.
what President Trump does. He is the first president that has ever been in office that did not facilitate or start a war. And then he's back again. And what tomorrow? Everyone needs to be eyes open. And whenever you have time to, then look at recordings or whatever. But it is historical tomorrow, the
Yeah.
meeting in Alaska with Trump and Putin.
But
Historical.
I would
Master.
recommend people watch it on Truth Social or
Yes.
RSBN,
Yes.
which you can find on YouTube, or I know
Excellent.
Steve Bannon's War Room, or Real America's Voice. You can get an app for that. Then you can watch the whole thing or go back and see it. Don't trust the mainstream globalist owned media,
Yep.
because they will show you little tiny clips that will distort the truth. And
Correct.
if you want, go watch both and then compare and
Mm-hmm.
contrast what they're showing you and the real thing, the whole event. Um, I always think people who believe the mainstream just are. I don't know. I don't even know what to say anymore. It's like if you don't have it by now, I'm not sure what will wake you up, because my audience is awake or they wouldn't be watching. But um, anyone could take anything out of context that either one of us say and turn it on its head.
Mm-hmm.
And we could step back and go, wait a minute, I didn't say that. I didn't mean that.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know, some of you may know people who do that to you in real life. I have someone in my family who does that to me, just flips everything around. I'm like, wait, what? I did
Yeah.
not say that. I did not even think that. I don't know where that's coming from, but that's what they do. They are masters at it. They've
Yeah.
practiced, they've been trained to do that.
It's
But
mind
we were,
control.
I don't want to keep you forever, but
No problem.
tell us about the upcoming event where
Oh,
people
yes.
can buy tickets,
Yes.
and then maybe if there's another event after that you want to mention, so people can get ready for that. I don't know. You may not want to.
Absolutely. No, I'd
Whatever.
love to. And I just really honor you, Catherine. All of my connections have just been a blessing, and you're just such a blessing. I admire you, all of your talents and traits, and your peace, your inner peace. So thank you for that. Thank you for that. Another daughter in yes, Yeshua. Um, our event, yes, please. It's an event you don't want to miss. We are in so the Stay Awake America tour. Next stop is August 29th and 30th in Knoxville, Tennessee. And get this, we're at a church, and the church's name is Patriot Church. So we are aligned with Pastor Ken Peters. Amazing. So you've got to come because you got to hear the story how Pastor Ken and I, how God connected us. But yes,
Yes.
so we have an amazing event. Over 20 national known speakers, and I've got to get my cheat sheet because I know them all, but I don't want to forget anybody. We got Dr. Judy Mikovich, Mary O'Neill Flynn, who is the CEO of America's Future and sister of General Michael Flynn. We always have Casper McLeod's band, who is a rockin' Christian rock star, amazing. He wrote the Stay Awake America song. He also wrote the General Flynn song. Wonderful. And my favorite, Dr. Douglas Frank. I love this man. Election integrity, his knowledge. He's a mathematician, and he proved that him and Mike Liddell proved that the 2020 election were way back. Were 2020 election was stolen. It was a rigged election through multiple things from
The numbers weren't there. I don't know what happened to Amy, but he is amazing and he's worth watching and listening to. He did figure out statistically and numbers wise how things got very distorted through the machines, and different places added in voting, I guess, ballots. So did we have you, Amy? Did we lose you? Oh, she's frozen. Anyhow, it's a great lineup, and I hope you can come. It is it's close to Knoxville. It's Lenoir, Tennessee, and it will be August 29th and 30th. I think that's when it is. Yeah. So I'm sorry that we lost Amy. Sometimes StreamYard can be a data hog, and it just takes a lot of data to keep everybody on, and especially if you have a virtual background. Anyway, so I hope you all can make it to this. It's not far away now, and hopefully she'll get back on to tell us about the one after that if she wants to share that. But meanwhile, take a look at the flyer. Anyhow, it's a great event. Like she was saying, that Patrick Byrne was there last time, and in Ohio and in Florida, and he is so knowledgeable. He was amazing. If you can go back and find that at stayawakeamerica.com and see if there is a stream up, or if there's a rumble of the conference. He was the last speaker. So if you don't want to hear anybody else, take it all the way to the end and hear what he has to say. He does go through the history of China and how they play the long game. And this is an intentional to take over our country. And this is why they have purchased land next to military bases. This is why when all those borders were open, we have over tens of thousands of Chinese nationals ready and waiting for a sign to go. And that means to start attacking us. There's many things. In fact, Patrick Byrne told us, hopefully she can get on. He told us that, are you there? Let's see. She's coming on. Anyway, Patrick Byrne told us that in 2024, they were ready with the top officials had already been told to be ready to take over certain people's homes. It's okay. I was telling everyone about Patrick Byrne and what he was telling us, how they were ready in China. The top officials had been issued deeds to certain homes around the country. If you remember that. Oh, she's frozen again. Are you there? Okay. Well, keep an eye. I'm
not surprised that we were talking about.
Yeah, this happens a lot. So do you want to? Okay, I told them all about the event in Knoxville. Do you want to tell them about?
Especially when you say election rigged election.
Yep. Yeah. Yeah.
Right after I said that. So, well.
Okay. I think we have time for you to tell us about. Do you want to tell us about the the conference that is set up, or it's getting set up for after the Tennessee? Or are you ready to even say anything? She's frozen. Ah, well, okay.
Yeah. Frustrating. I am so sorry. And it's crazy because my Wi-Fi is full blast.
Yeah, that shouldn't be happening.
Well, so
we just have a few seconds.
I will
That's
text.
Okay. Oh, you're going to text me? Yes, live shows that aren't paid for by Big Pharma or the globalists.
Exactly. And we think they're not watching, but they're watching. They're watching it all.
Yeah.
So I will type in here and let everybody know. But you can buy tickets at stayawakeamerica.com. Join us. You can learn more there. And we also, if you're hearing me, we also have a contest going on. So you don't even have to be raffle. We're raffling off a Flynn. Yeah.
That's so frustrating. Yeah, there's a raffle. Go to stayawakeamerica.com and sign up, buy some tickets for the raffle. I think it's this week only. I'm not sure. Maybe it'll be extended. You don't have to be there to win. But it's for a Flynn AR, a Flynn, I think it's called Flintlock AR, something like that. Tell your friends. So, Amy, I'm going to let you go. I hate to, but I guess that's it. All right, you all, thanks for stopping by, and check it out because it is going to be informative, and there'll be lots of people there to help you get busy, get connected, get involved locally. Okay, I will tell you one little thing before I go. Last night I was on a call that happens every Wednesday night, and they were talking about someone who works for the government who admitted that the injections were really bad for people. They had no benefit to anybody. They did far more harm. They did no good and harm. They did harm to people. And they were all, the person holding the call was very frustrated because he was saying it's really hard to get, how do you even reach the secretary, the Health and Human Services secretary, Secretary Bobby Kennedy. But I piped in and said, you've got to hold the people in your local area accountable, period. Because if you don't, this will continue. And, they will still get away with it. Find those clips of Stephen Hatfield and present these, or put them in a QR code form and take it to your local pharmacy or your local doctor and say, you should not be giving these shots anymore. You're killing people. And you've been put on notice. We have every right to do that as citizens of this country, as human beings, that they're putting people in danger. Anyway, what I'm getting at, it takes us to get busy and get active. All right, until next time, I hope you all tune in. Live shows I just never know how they're going to end up. Thanks for being here. See you next time.